Good afternoon. My name is Niko House, host of the political radio show Mi Casa es Su Casa. And I strongly encourage you to donate to my Patreon below if you support the channel. And also, please feel free to follow my Twitter and my Facebook, which links will also be posted below. Today, I wanted to talk to you all because after doing some research and obviously having this conversation time and time again, I'm starting to wonder if we're being too hard on Barack Obama as progressives. Now, I should probably premise this with saying I don't like 80% of Obama's administration. Now, it's not for like the traditional reasons that most people would cite. I understand, you know, while he's in office, he's supposed to represent the office in the country and not just minorities. And to be fair, he did speak out against police brutality multiple times and things like that. But he kind of had some issues with immigration. He obviously had issues overseas when it came to bombing places like Yemen, even in Syria, the situation with ISIS, the situation with Russia. He endorsed Hillary, and nobody knows why, because he doesn't like Hillary. There was a lot that happened that kind of made a lot of people get a sour taste in their mouth about Barack Obama. He even joked that it seemed like there was nothing he could do to lower his approval ratings during his commencement, or not his commencement speech, I apologize, his correspondence speech, the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Now, here's the thing about this situation with Obama, though. I think that many of us can agree, at least to some degree, that Obama wasn't in control, at least entirely, of his presidency. I strongly believe that. Let's be clear. Hillary would have been worse than Barack Obama would have been. We want to paint him as the super neoliberal, and I do believe he's a centrist, but I don't think he's a super neoliberal as we want to portray him to be. And there's a few reasons why. You can learn a lot from somebody's past. And I'm asking this because I would like to know your opinion, so I hope you leave your comments below. But there's a few reasons why. You can learn a lot about somebody's past. It wasn't his wife who was involved, or it wasn't he who was involved in a lot of government interactions before he ran for office. It was his wife. His wife was probably considered the breadwinner of the family, considering she was worth multiple millions more than he was until he became the president of the United States. It wasn't like Barack Obama was a career politician, so I doubt he was in the club, if you will. You know what I'm talking about, the club. He was only a junior senator for 3 years before he announced running. He was a known human rights activist and a human rights attorney in Illinois. It's just his past would lead you to believe. It was easy to tell what Bill Clinton was going to be, you know, in hindsight. It was obviously easy to tell what Donald Trump would be. It was easy to tell what Hillary Clinton would be. It's easy to tell what Joe Biden would be if he ran for office. It's easy to tell what Elizabeth Warren would be, which would be spineless. It's easy to know what Bernie Sanders would be because at least at very minimum we know that he will bring economic prosperity back to the middle class. There's a lot of people you can learn a lot about their past. I think Obama made a misstep and he made some promises that he couldn't keep. And I think that he wasn't in control of his administration. I think people say, well, look at what he did overseas, and I do agree with them. However, let's look at what he could have done. He could have sent us to Syria to invade. Because if you remember, that's the first thing Hillary said. Because I think that he was at odds with the deep state quite often. But he could have sent us to Syria to invade. He spent much of his presidency putting Netanyahu in his place. He even cut their funding by ridiculous numbers and even introduced legislation to restore their borders back to the original borders of Palestine and Israel, separating them and essentially condemning the settlements. He hasn't been stomping for the Democratic Party as you would think. It makes me think that he doesn't like the Democratic Party because he knows how fractured they were before he left. He knows what happened. He even said that Hillary committed, I can't remember the exact phrase for it, but essentially he just did not have nice words for Hillary after the campaign was over. He hasn't been showing his face. Yeah, he gave a Wall Street speech, but if you knew what the speech was about, it was about affordable medical care. Actually, he did give another speech in Europe, but he gave a free speech. His first speech was kind of like galvanizing the youth, and he said one of his main points was that special interests dominate Washington, which really stood out to me. It's interesting. The situation with the Barack Obama is interesting. I think it was a matter of a person being much too naive, a man being much too naive about the situation he had put himself in. I don't think he enjoyed being president in a lot of ways. I don't think that he likes the Democratic Party. I think he absolutely despises them for putting himself in that position. And although he knows that he left with one of the highest approval ratings in history, if not the highest, I think that he's very aware that his name has been tarnished. That his Obamacare, quote unquote, or the Affordable Health Care Act has put millions of people in ridiculous debt, taken their tax refunds away, and much more. I think that he knows his plans were hijacked and by lobbyists and insurance companies, and I just don't think that he was in much control of his presidency as we like to think he was. So I would love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment below and let me know what you think about it. Like I said, I don't think he was as in control as we like to claim he was, because he could have went to war several times. As we know, that's probably the plan of the deep state, and which is why every time Hillary has an opportunity to jump, she jumps and says, we should invade, we should go to war with Russia, we should go to war with Iran, we should go to war with Syria. If Barack Obama wanted to do this, he could have easily done so, but he didn't. I'm sure there was a reason for that. And the last thing is also the Panama Papers. I think the fact that Obama was nor Michelle, was mentioned at all in the Panama Papers lets me know pretty clearly that he probably wasn't part of the good old boys club, if you catch my drift. Like I said, who knows? But I think it's an interesting topic to discuss, because going forward, I think that Barack Obama will show that he is the human rights activist that he claimed himself to be and championed himself to be before he ran for office. He doesn't have any blips on his record prior to being president, and I think there was a reason. I think because of that, not being part of the good old boy club, he had no idea what he was walking into once he decided to run for office. So I'd love to hear your opinions. Leave your comments below. Please like, subscribe, and like I said, it would be awesome if you support the page to become a Patreon donor. Much love, and always remember, find your balance. Peace.